So today, you guys, we're going to be answering the question that I actually get asked the most is what type of paint do I use? I laid out a few signs outside and I'll kind of show roughly which ones I used where. Alright, so I've been doodling for about 4 years now. For about 2 or something like that, I've been slowly but surely uploading videos. I've been trying to be a little more consistent recently. And so more often than not, everybody asks me, what blades do I use? Is it a CNC? And what paint do I use? And I use skinny blades for my jigsaw. I do not use a CNC, I don't care for it. And I use a multitude of different paints. So that's pretty much my entire paint collection. So majority of the time I use Rust-Oleum spray paint. It's like something like $3-4 per can other than metallic ones. And I go mostly through the black because all the shadows are done with black. And then red is probably my second popular color. This one is from Sherwin-Williams. That's right next to my gym whenever I can get to Home Depot. But apple red gloss is the most common one. The other one is the Canyon black. And then the third most popular is either deep blue gloss. Yeah, the deep blue gloss. That's pretty much the 3 most common paints I use. I think the fourth distant... Whoopsie. The distant fourth is the hammered Rust-Oleum, like silver color. But I haven't been using it as much because mostly nowadays I just use the brush on paint, and then I have some purple, green, some oddball colors. Occasionally I use the satin clear coat, and that's the one I used on my Mitsubishi logos. Plastidip is recent from Mitsubishi. I've been wanting to learn how to do it, so I finally got some. Super easy to do. This one was on sale when I was buying the, not sandable primer, but what was I buying? There, the adhesion promoter for when I was painting bedlining my plastics. And so I bought it. I don't know if it's any better. I didn't do a thorough test on it, but Plastidip worked pretty well. So that's as far as the spray paint goes, and so let's see, I'll grab a can and I'll show you kind of what I used where. So if we're to look at all these signs, let's see, so the red was used Type R and the Infinity, the background on that, and the Vault Boy background, that's all spray painted this exact apple, the gloss red. I think this Nuka-Cola was done in the same color as well, possibly that bit. And then I kind of aged it all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was sprayed with this paint as well and then trimmed with black all around it. The lines on the American flag was sprayed with this as well. This was brushed on and you can see the difference because the red doesn't really cover too well on the paints that I use. Sometimes it covers okay, sometimes it's meh, but you can see how much better that coverage is there. But in this case, there was just no feasible, easy way to paint it on. And I think that's it. All the sides, like whether it's on the map or on the Michelin Man, pretty much all the sides were sprayed with the same Rust-Oleum, but in that Canyon black. The Packers I was just finishing up today, all the sides. So the black I go probably 3-4 times faster than any other paint I used, possibly even more. Alright, so that's as far as the spray paint. The 2 times clear coats of this Mitsubishi badge, I did that in just, this is gloss red, but it was clear coated satin, so you can actually see that it's not too bright. Same gloss red on my rear, not on my rear, on the, what's it called, the spare tire cover for the Mitsubishi, and did the clear coat in that satin so it's not too shiny. So I really like that. So the next most common color I use is, or the type of paint I use is, I think it's acrylic color snap from Sherwin-Williams. These little containers, they're like $8 a piece or something. And so I have a bunch of different colors. Some obviously been used more than others. But most common obviously is black, red. I think that's red, that's orange from the top. The red one, yellow is almost done, but that's because I spilled it. The blue one. And so that's the one I use. So let's see where we used it. So the white paint is on that. And then black paint is on top of that one, yellow paint is on top of the Packers, the Vault Boy is all painted, all the blue, the whatever skin color, the teeth and the white, that's all that just the Sherwin-Williams paint, just the normal stuff. This one's black, is just the normal as well. This is the same Sherwin-Williams paint. And then The black I think there was a gloss black that I had a random container from something, so but the rest of it, all the black trim that I do most of the time, that's just that Sherwin-Williams Color Snap paint. The red is in it. Alright, let's go to the metallics. Let's go a little more about the specialty paints. I got some oddball ones. So I got chalkboard paint is pretty common. The American maps you see I use for the backgrounds of them. It's really nice. I've been using more of this chalkboard paint just because it lays really flat, hides imperfections really well. It's very even. The only reason I like these ones a little bit less overall than the color snaps, also I forgot to mention, the color snaps come really well with the screw-on lid, and so what I do is, because of these really handy screw-on lid, what I do is usually will shake the can and this will have some paint on it, and I will just dip my brush into it. And I cover this with a piece of wood just because I have the same feet I use when I put my table like way outside over there. And so I just cover that up, and then I can just use this as my little palette, and when I'm done, boom, I just close it. And so it's really convenient. And they generally don't dry out as well. It's not a problem to close them. These eventually, like, you have a hard time closing down. And so chalkboard paint is really good paint. That being said, Krylon is good. That's from Lowe's. Rust-Oleum, as much as I use this one in Rust-Oleum, the chalkboard paint is clumpy and crap. I don't like that one. I got some of this stain. You can see what let me see if it'll focus on it. Alright, you can see what I scribbled and it says junk. So this one doesn't cover anything. I think I'm just gonna throw it away. Don't really like to stain too much. I was having a fiasco here. This one is purple. It's supposed to be some random color. What does it say? Varathane, Stone Age, but it looks kind of dark gray, but it actually came out purple. So I'm probably just gonna, I need to go a little Marie Kondo over here and bring some joy. Gel stain's quite good. I actually have my garage door stained with it, and it's due to be redone. I'll use a lot of PPG metallic paints for a lot of especially if I'm doing the car sign or something like that. And so this is a really pretty color. You can see how well it like changes. So metallic paints are super neat. And so that's about it. I got this right here, the autumn maple. I use that a lot, but I have to close it because it doesn't close anymore, and it's pretty much dried up, so there's like a cover on the top, so I have to like mess around with it, but it does still work. The clear coat, I don't hardly ever use it. One of my viewers recommended a new clear coat, but I haven't looked into it yet. Normally I just don't clear coat it, hardly anything, because it's just signs that decorative. They don't live a hard life, so it doesn't really matter. And then I forgot, behind me, right there in this kind of laundry cabinet, I do have some more just generic paints. So I got like some high gloss trim. This gold one, the PPG gold, I have a whole wall in my gym in that. So I just used a lot of the gold paint from here. And then the other ones, I don't know, some random, probably house paints that I don't really use for my arts, unless it's exactly what I need. So let's go see what we used, what we have brushed on where over here. So we got this, we got just the open autumn maple stain over the wood burned. We got chalkboard paint over here, and then the regular white paint over there. That's from the screw-on little lid. This one was sprayed. The Nuka-Cola actually was sprayed entirely with white paint, and then the sides. I think I had to brush it black myself, like by hand, because otherwise the overspray was too much. The outline is silver metallic paint. Same silver metallic paint is there, same silver metallic paint is there. Same silver metallic paint as my entire garage, actually. So then we got, Type R, same silver. And then Volt Boy, same silver, gold all around, so that's that gold. The Michelin tried gold, but it didn't look right, so it went with yellow. So that's, I think, pretty much covers all the paints that I've used. I think that one is spray. I can't remember anymore. I think there's a video of me doing the EMS Star of Life, so I'm pretty sure that's spray paint. And I think the Batman, if I'm not mistaken, that one looks quite even, so I'm pretty sure that's the chalkboard paint, because you can see like I'm closing in, and usually you'd see some imperfection if it's the other paint, but it looks really, really good. And I think that's the chalkboard paint, so this finish comes out really smooth. But I think that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Meanwhile, I really should bring all this stuff in, because you can see that this oak tree, the pollen season is afoot, and so you can see all the green stuff in the roads. Go over my brushes, so I also probably should make like a really nice wood stained top for my toolbox. But anyways, let's go over the brushes that I use. So these two are really expensive. I don't use them. I tried to be fancy a few months back, bought these. These were like $5 or $7 a brush, and I've used them several times, tried to make sense of them, but I don't like them, but I don't dare throw them away because I paid too much. I've recently also added these oil-based Sharpies to try to trim like the black around, say like the Nuka-Cola bottle, all around the fancier, like the cartoony looking stuff. But it's a little bit different color than the normal black that I do around, like say the Voltboy. Sorry about the noise, my battery is dying. And so for now I haven't really used it yet. I might try it on something else. These two brushes I use all the time for the bigger surfaces. So with something like this, let's see what we brushed. So like the silver on the dog, the white on the Michelin, like the blues on the Michelin Man and the silver on the Michelin Man, the Packers sign, all the yellow and all the green behind it, the skull, the Type R, that guy, whatever, from the BioShock, the Batman logo, the background on that was used. The bigger brushes for like the big backgrounds over there, or like the silver around it, so something bigger. This one's for a little finer stuff, or when you don't want to overspill too much. But I've had these brushes for a long time, and so they still just work fine. And then these brushes, this is a cheap $5 kit that you can buy at like Sherwin-Williams or something like that. And so it comes, I think this is like a combination of two kits. I've gone through a bit and lost a few or broken a few. And then this is even cheaper kit that I think was like $12 for like a 5-pack. And so I gave away a couple of them, or one of them, to somebody as a gift. But I still have a couple. I should probably get rid of them because I'm never gonna go through them. And so that one I use quite a bit now. So these brushes don't hold that much paint, and this one I obviously dipped into acetone a bit and it stripped the blue off. But I use these a fair bit for the trim part. And these brushes, I don't use honestly all that much. I mostly use this big one. I think I just used it on something. I use the little guy and this kind of intermediate one. These two I hardly ever use. This one's pretty stiff. But you kind of mess around and see what it holds. But the way I go about it is, most of the time it's just this little skinny one, or something just a little thicker. And I've been using these two more and more. So what I do, this kind of stuff is mostly for just like this decoration in black and over there as well. So we use something like this to do. What I do is I kind of trim and I lay the coat, because this is a little stiffer, and so it gives me the nice black line all around this stuff. And then I go in with this brush afterwards because it holds paint better, but it doesn't, it kind of floats a little more. So when you already have the hard edge established by a different brush, then the second coat to make it nice and kind of even. So we can see here how, you know, it's a nice black even paint. There's no like, you can't really see through. And so then I fill the paint on the second go around, because it always requires two coats. So first coat stiffer brush, second coat soft brush, and it's much quicker process now. Like it doesn't take me as long to do like the Michelin Man, and by the time I was doing the Voltboy back in the day, it would take me forever. And so that's the basics kind of how I paint, what paint I use, and what brushes I use. I think that's about it. Oh, and so sometimes the problem is that if we're using something like this on, say, the Type R badge or the Michelin, if we start brushing it, it'll start kind of floating paint into all the nooks and crannies, so that can be a problem. And it was giving me a hassle on the Packers a bit today. So what you can do is, I have this one roller, which I think I used like 17 times by now because I keep washing it. And obviously I didn't do that great of a job from the yellow. But then you can just have a little bit of paint, and then you can just roll all like the edge stuff with the roller. And sometimes that's a little bit easier. So if you're not too great with a brush, a roller can save you and make your life painting it all easier. And I think that actually concludes it. I don't know if I didn't answer something, just let me know. Then I want to try a little bit more. I'm gonna go into it. So I've only done this a couple of times now. So this is the gun that came with the Raptor liner kit, or the bedliner kit. It's a it's a two-part formula, so it's basically a sprayable plastic that comes with a paint tub and a bottle of hardener, and so you mix them together and it hardens in your truck. And I just bought this small compressor, it's like $40 and the kit was 15, so it's like $55, because you know I'm becoming a somewhat pretentious woodworker. But it gives a really nice texture, so we'll show on the truck. I'll try not to step on signs while. So it's a really nice rubberized texture. It actually creates like a really nice double, not a gloss, double color kind of effect. So we got our gloss black and we got ourselves kind of matte textured finish. This is, by the way, kind of Plastidip over here and on the mirror. So it came out really clean. It's really nice because you can overspray this and then you just peel it off. Same way here, I Plastidipped around. I'll have a video for that for the Montero where I cover the wheels as well, where I ceramic coat them. And so then I just peeled the whole thing and it came off really clean. But the bed liner came out really nice on the whole truck, on the grill and everything. And so it's a pretty cool texture. And I did spray it on the Dakar sign, and instead of like a flat texture on it, it became, imagine this texture on the sign. And I tried to like even scratch it with my, because like, it's good stuff right here, you know. So that's something for me to experiment in the future now, because I do get bored somewhat quickly, so I always try something new. And I've seen a guy do it where they kind of insert this into a small cup. So imagine if this was more like a cup rather than a shallow. And so he holds the gun and holds the container with the other hand and just sprays. So this way I don't have to actually fill and waste the bottles. So we're gonna experiment with that over time. That's why I want to have my own little compressor. I don't know if that'll be too small or not. But now I think we covered everything. With the bed liner included, I think I covered all my paints. Spray paints, regular brush-on paints, metallic, and stains, and chalkboard paints, and then also even Plastidip and so forth. So that's pretty much all I use. I mean, majority of the time it's just spray paint and brush-on paints. That's like 90% of my projects. And everything else is just something I experiment with for fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any questions, just let me know and I'll try to make another helpful video, which generally I'm pretty bad about. Usually I'm just doodling in my garage or driveway doing some fun stuff. So I'll try to answer some questions. Yeah, and so hope you liked it. Hope you have a good time, and I'll see you next time.